Hello, everyone. We are on our last day of our Nordic folk art ornaments. So excited. We are going to be doing the horse today. So thank you for hanging out with me each day or any days that you could. No, it's Christmas time. It's tough sometimes. But we're going to be working on this Nordic horse. So make sure your instructions are printed out and your line drawings printed out. Before we get into that though, I want to do some prep on these. I promised I would kind of show you how I finish these guys. So let's get these done. The first thing I want to do is glue this guy. We did this yesterday. We want to glue the polar bear to the wood piece. So we'll do that first. And then I want to go through and put our mediums, our sealers, and our varnishes on everything. We'll do that right now, and then at the end of the video we'll put on our sparkles and our rhinestones. But welcome. I'm Erica Joanne from Erica Joanne Art, and we love to do paint and color pencil together. So this is a mixed media type art, and we get the best of both worlds when we use those two mediums together, and I'll show you how to do that step by step. Okay, I'm going to zoom you in a little more. There we go. Okay, I'm looking for my wood pieces. I had one more piece left over here. Now I talked to you about cutting out this little guy here so it matches up with this. So that's what I'm going to do, is get that cut out. And I have an X-Acto knife here. These are sharp, so be very, very careful. And I'm just going to take a paper towel to help me with this so I don't go down on my table. Okay, I'm going to just cut this over my paper towel. But in the meantime, I should ask you, how is everyone doing? Let's see here. Yes, happy day before Christmas. This is Christmas Eve. Merry Christmas the day before. So we got Alice on. She's from Florida. She's really enjoyed it. Thank you, Alice. And Linda. Hello, hello. I'm gonna see if I can't bring up my thing over here. Okay. Nice. It's good to see you guys. I'm going to just move this. I have like a thing in front so I can see your comments. We got a few of you on today. Thank you for being on. Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and cut out this little rectangle here. And my knife is really sharp, so I'm just going to do a little bit at a time here so I don't overcut. It can be easy to do that. And then cut it this way and this way. And there. Put the cap back on. These things are sharp. Put away. Okay, so that should just pop out, that little piece of paper. And it is extra thick because we're using the 140 weight cold press watercolor paper. So this paper is a little thicker. You can't just put a pair of scissors in there and start cutting. That's why I recommend you use an X-Acto knife, but be very, very careful with how you use that and go by the manufacturer's instructions. Okay, so now that we got that all cut, what we're going to do is line that hole up with our ornament, and we'll put some glue in there. Now I use PVA glue, and we now are using a different brand. It looks like this. PVA, professional quality, dries clear, remains flexible, ideal for bookbinding and paper projects. So this is a little different than like your standard white glue. It looks like white glue, but it is not white glue. And I'm taking out the inside piece. So it looks like this. You can kind of see it. This can freeze in cold weather and turn into like a solid mass. So don't leave it out in the snow. Yeah, you just don't want to leave it like in a cold car or, you know, out where it gets really cold. Okay, now we always pull from the middle to the side and then kind of pull it off the edge like that. I'm going to be a little careful around my hole so I don't have a bunch of globs of glue there. But pull from the middle and then out. Are you guys all ready for tomorrow? Santa's making his rounds. I haven't checked the Santa tracker today yet, but I need to see where he's at. Okay, so we got ample amount of glue on there. It's all spread out with our edge, our little spreader, our glue spreader. Or you could use a credit card, just use what you have. And then set this down onto your piece. I'm just going to make sure my hands are clean and match up the hole. Now, this part you got to be patient. You just got to kind of hold on. It takes a few minutes for the glue to start to absorb into the paper. It will start doing that, and your paper wants to curl up while it's absorbing. So just kind of be patient during this process and keep pushing it down onto your wood piece. And if you want, you can put a piece of plastic over this so that you don't get any smudges onto your piece. You can do that. Okay, it's starting to soak in, I can tell. I'm going to pull the zoom out a little bit for you guys so you can see the whole thing. Like that. There we go. So yeah, you could like put a piece of plastic over that. Let's see if I have my piece of plastic around here somewhere. Here it is. Or a piece of saran wrap, just to protect your piece from smudges. And you can kind of push onto your piece and get it smoothed out. I just do all this by hand. I don't worry about the roller things because it's just such a small piece. You can easily do this by hand. Okay. Now, if you put the right amount of glue, you're going to have a little bit of oozing from the bottom, but not too much. You can see it's not too bad. Just a little bit. Okay, the next thing you want to do as it starts to take hold is you want to kind of bend the edges and make sure it matches your line. And I can see on this side that I'm not really matching, that my line is going this way too far. So I'm going to adjust and move it over and get it to match the best I can. I want to do that all the way around. Just make sure my line is off of the piece all the way around. And then I'm somewhat lined up with this hole. Like it's not perfect, but it is there. It's in that spot. So I just want to make sure I don't have any line that is coming into my piece. That line needs to be cut off. So I'm going to move it over just a little more so it's on there well. Okay, I'm feeling good about it. Okay, once you kind of get, you know your placement is right, then you can really press down and start to get that piece to take hold. And then just a few minutes longer and you won't have to mess with it anymore. It will just start to, the gluing process, it will start. Okay. Now we're going to put varnish over our pieces. We're going to make them really nice so they'll last for a long time. And I'll show you that process today. I did tell you yesterday I was going to be a little bit longer today. It's my Christmas Eve present to you. You probably don't want that present though. Probably also busy. This is a day where we're a lot of times with our families, but some of us don't have family around or people that we're spending extra time with right now. So it's kind of nice to just get creative and have fun. Okay, I'm feeling good about it. I like where it's positioned and I feel it's nice and flat all the way around. So I'm going to set this aside and let it continue to dry, and then I'll come back to it. Now, any of the extra glue there, you could take a Q-tip and just wipe that off if you wanted to, or you could just leave it and let it dry. It will come off when you sand the edges. All that glue is going to come off. Let's see. Alice is wondering reasons why you changed brand of glue. No, nothing with the quality. I love both of the glues. It's just the Monte Marte is harder for me to get now. So I can get it in a bigger jug, but I didn't want to do that. I just want a regular size. So I just got this other stuff. I'm not even sure what the brand name is. Okay, I'm going to put this aside and let it, I can just lay it down like this on my plastic and put something heavy on top. Just make sure it's set where you want it to be and it's not moving, because you don't want it to shift when it's finishing the gluing time. And mine doesn't feel like it's going to shift, so I'm good. Put something heavy on top of it and let it do its thing. Okay. Now, while that is doing its thing, I'm going to look at my other pieces here. I do want to put some paint on the back, and I was thinking, like you can choose a color from your existing colors in your design to do the back. And I'm not sure. I don't really want a dark color on the back that's overpowering, so I'm thinking I'm just going to do a wash. And that colony blue color is pretty prominent in all of them, so I might go with the colony blue. It's hard to decide. But I'm thinking that's the way I'm going to go. Just a wash of colony blue. Okay, so put this out. Whoop. Hello, Liz. And Lisa, Merry Christmas to everyone. And Gloria, nice to see you guys. Okay. Now I'm going to take my 3/4 inch wash brush and just water this down. I'm going to water it down really well. I think I might even go lighter than this. So I'm going to water this down, add a little warm white to it because I want it to be lighter. So probably a warm white and colony blue 1-to-1. Let's see what that does. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Just a very light blue for the backs. And I'm going to water that down really good. I'm doing a big puddle because I have a lot of ornaments to do. And I already put these ribbons on. I don't necessarily recommend you doing the ribbons first, but I did that just to show you what they look like with the ribbons on. So I'm going to have to work around the ribbon. But I like to start out when I'm doing the backs or a piece like this that has edges, start out in the middle, pull your paint to the edges. So you don't go over the edges. Most of your color is in the middle of your piece. And then you have less color on your brush as you move to the edges. Okay, that's nice. It's just a nice little wash. It's a mix of colony blue and warm white 1-to-1. Okay, I like that. I'm not going to worry about the edges. I think they look fine. You could put like gold on the edges if you wanted. You could do a lot of different things. Get creative, have fun. So I'll just do a few of these so you guys can see what can be done. Working outward around my ribbon. And I'm trying not to get paint on my edges. Okay. Right, that's fun. We got those two done. How about we do 3 of them? I'll do this one. It's kind of nice doing all these at the same time. So like if you wait to do the finishing touches at the end, then you can do them all at the same time, which is a good way to do it. You know, and maybe you'd like to have green on your back. Just whatever suits your fancy. Maybe you want red. What color is speaking to you? That's what you want to go with. Okay. I'll let that sit. Thing. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna rinse out my brush and I'm gonna grab a stencil and do a little bit of stenciling on the back too, so you can see what fun touches you can add. Unfortunately, I don't think I have a snowflake stencil because I think that would be absolutely perfect, but I don't know if I have one, so I might have to choose something else. This is one that I have from Sandy McTeer and Tracy Moreau, one of their stencils. Let's see what else I have. I have a polka dot stencil. Oh, I do kind of have this one. This is kind of fun. That is like a snowflake. Let's see if I have any others. I like that one because it is similar to a snowflake. Yeah, I like that one the best. Let me see if there's anything else I have. I have this big bag full of stencils. How about this? Why don't we just try a few different types of stencils? There's this one too. That's kind of fun. And then this one. Oh. Okay, well, that's probably good enough. It'll get me started. Right. Okay, I think I will start with Tracy's and Sandy's stencil. I like that. Just a bunch of, I think that's fun. It almost reminds me of poinsettia. Okay, you can use a stencil brush, or you could just go like me and just use a makeup wedge. I find those to be really effective also. And this is what I mean by the makeup wedge. So you want some warm white. I always go lighter when I do my stenciling. A lighter color. So I'll go in with a darker color to base and then a lighter color for stenciling. And it could be related to the color that you're using for your base. Like I could even add more warm white to my mix that I did for my background, or I could just use warm white. So go ahead and pounce your makeup wedge into your paint and then try to take out some of the paint, just kind of move it around so it's even on your makeup wedge. And I'm gonna have to be careful about that ribbon. I'll just kind of work up to it, I guess. Hold your stencil down and then lightly pounce. Over your stencil. You want to try to be light about it because it's better when stenciling, it's better to go lighter and do several coats than to go super heavy. So kind of just get it on there, and then you can always go back and make it brighter if you want. Let's see what this looks like. And also with stenciling, some of it's going to be a little uneven. Like you can tell I'm not like super making everything perfect, but that looks okay when you do a stencil. Okay, I'm probably going to have to put more paint in my makeup sponge. Let's see, I'll get you on here a little more easier on the camera. Okay, I'm adding a little more paint. I'll be careful not to move my stencil. And these stencils clean out easy if you put them in warm soapy water when you're done. Just let them soak in warm soapy water in your sink for a little while. And then they will come clean. Okay, up here, I'm going to be careful around my little ribbon. Okay. Okay, we'll see how it turned out. Wish me luck. Here we go. Oh, I like it. So that's a nice little touch, right? Kind of fun. Like that. Simple way to decorate your back. I know some of you are amazing and you like to paint your backs too, and go for it. Like, do what you want, whatever suits your fancy. For me, I just tend to go simple. I like to definitely decorate the back of an ornament because I just think that's part of painting an ornament. You got to do the back, or even any of your pieces. It's nice to do the back. So this is just a simple way to decorate the back. Okay, let's try another stencil. These will be kind of fun. Let's see. How about this one? Put that right about in the middle. There. Okay. And I don't know the number of that last stencil if you wanted to purchase it from Tracy and Sandy McTeer. So you just, probably the best thing to do is just go to their site and find it there. So this one, I just kind of want to stay in the center area of my stencil. I don't want to go out on the edges. Super fun. And a quick way to decorate your back. And then you could put your signature back there and your date. Always put the date. That's, no, it's okay. I don't need to. Thanks, honey. Okay, almost done. Remember, it's much better when you're stenciling to go lighter than darker. I'll do one with a stencil brush so you can kind of see the difference. You know, if you want to try a stencil brush instead. Okay. That's good. I'll do a little more right there. Okay, there we go. There we go. Isn't that fun? A little decoration on the back. Love it. Okay, let me see if I can find my stencil brush. Hold on for a second. It's up here somewhere. There it is. Okay, we've gotten these two done. Aren't they fun? Okay, we'll do a stencil brush just so you can get the feel. Here's a fun one. It has like little swirls on it, so that'd be fun for the Santa. Move this over a little bit. There we go. Okay, this is a stencil brush, and this is by Chris Hoy, and it's on her website. And it's called Chris's Spectacular Stencil, and it's numbered 926 number 4. 926 number 4. You want to have a dry brush when you do this. So don't put your brush in any water. Load your brush with the paint and then pounce it out on a paper towel before you go to your piece. Okay. And then you kind of do like this little swirl. You can do pouncing too. You just don't want to go underneath the stencil. You want it to stay on top. So if you like the feel of using a stencil brush instead, this is a really great stencil brush. It has soft bristles. And you can kind of get into those tight areas. I'm going to need to add more paint to my brush, and I got to be very careful. I need to load my palette with more paint because I ran out of it. Remember, less is more, less is more. Not too much paint. You want to pounce that out on a paper towel before you come to your piece because you just want a hint of paint on your brush. Start out in the middle. That's where it's going to be brightest, and then you can work out to the edges. Pounce and swirl. Get all the little dots. Okay. You'll probably have to continue to load your brush. The reason why you don't want water in your brush is because it will, once that paint is thinned, then it's going to seep under your stencil and you won't have that nice crisp looking edge to the design. So you don't want it to seep. No seeping. And if you have too much paint on your brush, that will also cause seeping. Okay, just kind of get it on there. Pounce, pounce, pounce. Rub, rub, rub. Let's see where we're at. Don't want to like let go of it. Get under it. Okay, there we go. Okay, so you can see like the difference, you know, between using a stencil brush or using a makeup wedge. I think they both work good. It just depends on what you like better. Okay, so you get a feel of what you can do. I call this background stencils because you put them in the background in the back of your piece. I just love to have a stash of stencils for that use. Okay, rinse out your brush. And it's going to dry pretty quickly because you use dry paint, no water. It's going to dry nice and quick. Always take out the moisture as much as possible. When you use these black filament fibers, when you have a brush that has these black fibers, they soak up so much moisture and water. So always really try to take out the extra moisture on a paper towel while it's drying. Okay, I'm going to put that aside. Okay, I'm going to go back and look at your questions if you have any. Lots of Merry Christmases from everyone. Wonderful. So Cindy Brinkley asks, can you add another watercolor paper design to the back? For example, I would like to put the reindeer on one side of the ornament and the snowflake on the other. That is a wonderful idea, and absolutely you can do that. That's a great idea. So when it turns, you got another design. There you go. You can absolutely do that. I don't have a place where I list okay, mom too is asking, these are beautiful. Do you have a place where you list the resources for stencils, stencil brushes? I don't, but I will definitely put in the comments. Or maybe one of my ladies that are watching that know these people, maybe any of you know Sandy McTeer or Tracy Moreau. Sandy McTeer is in the United States and Tracy Moreau is in Canada. And I know they both ship out their stencils. So they do the stencils together. It's a collaboration and it's called M2 Stencils. These round stencils I just had in my stash, but this one in particular is from the M2 stencil. And I unfortunately don't have the number for this, but you can look on their website and look at all their stencils and you'd probably find it there. Find some that you like, others that you like. They have quite a number of stencils that are fun to use. And then as far as the stencil brushes, that's Chris Hoy. Does anyone have a website link for Chris Hoy? She sells the stencil brushes in different sizes, I might add too. Okay, so that's a fun way to finish your back. Really fun. And like the message before was saying, could you do something else on your back? Just take one of these, like just pair it up with one of the other designs. You can absolutely do that too. Whatever works best for you. Okay, so now that we got that on, I'm just working on these three right now. So just kind of pretend we're doing them all, but these three. Now, with these beads, you could leave them plain. I know that the wood, this wood color is kind of popular right now, so you could always just leave them plain, and that would be a nice touch too. Or you could paint them, or you could even pencil them. We've done that in the past where we've taken our pencils and just penciled them. So lots of options there. I think these beads, if they're put together like that, they look like a snowman. So you could paint them with the warm white and then put the little nose and eyes and, you know, little touches for a snowman. So however you want to decorate your beads, up to you. Just have fun with it. If you do them with a pencil, I'll kind of show you what they look like when they're done with a pencil. Here, let's see if I could do it with a yellow pencil. Yeah. Okay. So with a pencil, you just go back and forth like this. Just hold your bead and just go back and forth, and you can color your bead with a pencil, and it's super easy and fun to do that way too. And it kind of creates like a wispy color. I don't even know how to explain it. Like almost not really antique-y, but it kind of looks rustic. Like you see how that is. You see little spaces between the marks. I think that looks kind of fun. So yeah, you can just kind of back and forth on your bead, and you can choose any color. You know, you might have more pencils in your stash that you'd like to use. So that's how you can decorate your beads. You can paint them, or you can pencil them, or you can, I don't know, you can do fun stuff with that. So decide what you want to do. The next thing you want to do is you want to add another coat of fast drying glaze medium before you do your varnishing. So a barrier coat before the varnish. And I was thinking about this the other day. I sent home with my sister, who's an artist, some matte varnish, and I forgot to tell her about the fast drying glaze medium. So I need to call her. A little reminder to self. I need to call her and tell her she needs the fast drying glaze medium. It's like, just kind of think of it as they go together. It's like a two-part system. You really need to have a barrier coat on your piece before you varnish, even if you're not using pencils, if you're just using paint even, because the everything is so matte that it will just soak up all your varnish, and then it doesn't move as well. You don't get that nice free flowing varnish. So having something like a barrier coat on there so that the varnish doesn't soak into your surface makes the varnish work so much better. So I'm going to wash out my brush here. Okay. I'm going to use a different brush. Okay. So I'm using a different brush. It doesn't have any moisture in it. And I'm going to grab a little mediums dish. I like to keep little mediums dishes in my studio. And I like them to be pretty because it makes me happy. So little glass dishes or whatever suits your fancy. You could even have little tiny teacups. Be cute too. I just go by Josania's mantra to keep your area pretty. So a little bit of fast drying glaze medium, and you could do all your pieces. It would take you not even 15 minutes to do this. And that's one thing I've had to train myself to think about. When you have these extra little steps that you need to do to preserve something, sometimes I just want to just cut to the finish and just skip things. I tend to do that. My personality tends to want to skip steps, or how can I make it faster for myself? And so I've had to learn that some things they're not good to skip. You don't want to skip some steps, even if it doesn't take very long. You want to do that step. So I had already put some glitter on this. I'm going to work around the glitter. Okay, so you just want a nice coat of fast drying glaze medium over the whole piece, and work around your glitter if you had any glitter on there already. Had some. It's okay if you go over the glitter, but I kind of like to avoid it if I can. Now, if this is nice and dry, you can also add this medium to the back Again, this is a nice step for preserving your piece and making it so the varnish goes on so much nicer. Now, there's some people who are like, why varnish? You don't need to varnish. And it's up to you. Like, if you want your piece to last for years to come, then you definitely want to varnish. If you want it to be like one of those heirloom pieces that gets passed down, then you want to varnish. Just take the few minutes to do it. It's not a hard thing to do. You can see I got that done in like 10 seconds. Okay, I'm kind of working around my rhinestones that I have on there. And adding, this is the fast drying glaze medium. This is your barrier coat. Put it on your back. Make sure everything is dry before you add this or it will smear your paint or your pencils. Make sure everything is dry. Set it aside. Let it dry. It takes just minutes to dry. And this one, I have some glitter on here. I had put all this on beforehand because I wanted you guys to see how to do that, but I wouldn't recommend it. I think it's better to do all the glitter, the rhinestones at the very end after you got your varnishing done. I like to do it at the end. But because of, purpose of being able to see it, I ended up putting it on. Okay. So let that take a minute to dry. Rinse out your brush. Mom, too, is asking about, would it be better to put a barrier coat on before you put your glitter? I did. Yeah, I kind of just answered that question, right? I do like to put my varnish on, actually, my barrier coat, my varnish, and then I like to put my glitter and rhinestones on at the end. Because if you varnish over your rhinestones or your glitter, you kind of lose some of that sheen or that sparkle. So I like to do that at the end. Yes, yeah. Thank you for the question. I appreciate it. Okay, we're going to go back to this piece and see, because it's paper, it's already almost dry. It just soaks it right in. And because I went around all my little glitter areas, they're still nice and sparkly. Okay. If you're using, this is a little caveat though, if you're using the Opal Dust by Josanya, that is made to be part of their system and you can varnish over that and you shouldn't have problems with losing the sheen. I used my glitter shakers and I got a lot of concentrated glitter, and so this is a different story. But the Opal Dust by Josanya, you can varnish over, just FYI. All right, so now the varnishing. Let's see here. Okay, I have, there's different varnishes. I'll show you a couple of them. So you can use a matte varnish, which is very typical. That's what I use a lot. I use a matte varnish a lot. But they also have different types of varnishes. They have a satin and they have a gloss varnish. They're all really great. And whatever you love, that's what you want to use. Okay. So you can shake it. It's a little myth that you can't shake it. You can shake it. And I like to get it all, especially if you're using the matte varnish, you really need to get the matte properties mixed in with the rest of the varnish, because over time the matte properties will sink to the bottom and lay at the bottom. And they're not gonna, it's not gonna look matte. Actually, it's gonna look satin. So if you want it nice and matte, you need to shake it up. Okay. So you want to get that all mixed in. Okay. So this is my little mediums dish. Use that for my varnish. Now I'm using the same brush. I just kind of like put it in between my paper towel layers and got out most of the moisture. Okay, I'm just making sure it's nice and dry. Right. So with the varnish, this is the matte varnish. I like to, well, it's kind of nice, especially if you're working over a dark piece. Sometimes you can see the varnish, like the brush strokes. So in order to kind of hide brush strokes, you can go like this and just go work in a circle 8, like this, the shape of an 8. So just kind of brush back and forth like that, lightly, and you'll escape seeing the brush strokes if you can do that. Especially, they're just especially noticeable on darker pieces. This is lighter, so you're not going to see it as much, but, and I'm just kind of working around everything. Now this will dry really matte. It's not going to be a sheen, but it's going to be nice and protective of your piece. So if little hands have been handling them and they're dirty, you can wipe it off, you know, that kind of thing. Or just over time, it's being stored in a bin in the garage, you know. This will protect your piece from turning yellow or just fading over time. It'll protect all the colors that you use too. So that's one coat. I recommend 3 to 4 coats. Okay. You just let it dry really good and then put another coat on. And go to the back, do the same thing. One thing I didn't add is you could add snow to the back with flecks, like little splattering detail. You could do that. Just make sure everything is nice and dry and use that like circle 8 motion like that. Slip slap. And it's a light slip slap. So I'm, you know, just barely touching the surface. Okay, so does that give you kind of an idea how to varnish? Just remember, you want several coats, let them dry in between. Once you get all the varnishing on, then go ahead and put your rhinestones, your glitter, whatever you want to sparkle it up. My back on this isn't quite dry, so I think I'm gonna wait on that one. This is dry. Slip slap, back and forth. This varnish is indoor outdoor. It's amazing. Jo Sonia. Okay. Just a light coat. Now, if you're doing, like, we're just working on small little pieces, so it's not, I don't think it's as crucial. But if you're like working on a big piece, a big furniture piece, you want to do your steps with some time in between. So your fast drying glaze medium, you put that on, wait a little bit, wait like a day, wait a couple days, and then put your varnish on. Just make sure everything has time to cure. And you can read all the instructions on your bottle. It tells you what to do. It's very, very simple. It's all there for you. So just go ahead and read that if you are, you know, have any questions. Another thing is Jo Sonia does have some how-to varnish videos on YouTube. So you can always look her up on YouTube and watch her in person. You can see this great master at work. All right, I'm going to rinse out my brush, but that's kind of the idea. So hello, Darlene and Linda. Thank you. You're welcome. I know it took me a long time to figure out. I don't know. I wasn't taking any classes, so I was trying to figure out things on my own, and I learned by my own experience and reading instructions and talking to the Josanya crew and then watching her videos. I kind of learned a lot, but yeah, sometimes it takes a little bit to figure things out. It took me a little bit for sure. But I found out, you know, it's just better to be more patient, put the two mediums together, your fast drying glaze medium and your varnish. Make sure to use those hand in hand. You'll have really great results. I tried once to use varnish without using the fast drying glaze medium. I tried that. It didn't work very well. Oops. Sorry, things are crashing. Okay, I'm just going to cut my watercolor paper to fit my piece. And I'm using the 140 pound cold press watercolor paper. And I will transfer the design. Now, the e-pattern is on our website. So if you are interested in trying this with us, these videos will be up for at least a year. So you can always come back and check them out. And the e-patterns will be on our website. You get, for $4, you get two designs in each e-pattern with your line drawings and your color guide and your supply list. Now I'm going to transfer this. I'm just going to use a pencil to do that today. And I'm looking for my graphite paper. It's hiding from me. You need a piece of graphite paper. Okay, I usually just keep my graphite paper in a folder and then I can find it. So there we go. There's my graphite paper. Oops. Boy, I'm making lots of noises today. Okay. If you guys are interested in what we do, I'm going to be on YouTube more often. I'm going to really shoot for trying to be on once a week. So I haven't decided quite what day I'm going to be on, but it all kind of depends on our daughter because we'll be doing a little bit of Grammy peepaw time with our grandchild once a week too. So it all kind of depends on how that works out. You need a piece of painter's tape to tape this down before you start tracing. And I did put if you notice, my horse is a little scawampish, and I did that on purpose. If you hate that, you don't have to have it that way. You could have it straight on. I just kind of like that little angle going on. So you want to tape both pieces down together. Put your graphite paper dark side down. Always trying to find the darker side. This is the darker side. And then go ahead and trace your design and make sure to trace this round circle around the whole thing. Don't forget that because it's hard to put it on later. It's not impossible, but it's a pain. So this week has been so fun, and the last week was so fun. We've been having a great time together. We have had 10 days. This will be our 10th day together in this marathon folk art ornament stint. It's been really fun. I'm going to miss it. If you enjoy what we do, please like our channel and subscribe and share it with other people if you want. Hit the bell, the little notification bell, and you'll get notifications of when I'm on in the future. It's fun to put flowers on things. I've been enjoying that. Flowers and snow. You wouldn't think those two would go together, but they oddly do. They work. So this was a suggestion by one of our certified teachers. She said, why don't you do a horse, a Nordic horse? And I was like, I hadn't thought about that. Let's do one. But I wanted to put it before our members in the Paint and Pencil with Us group page on Facebook. And so they voted, and they actually agreed with it too, because they all voted for it. And they voted for the polar bear too. Paint and Pencil with Us is a Facebook page you can join. It's free, and we often will post different polls on there where you can help us, and we have sometimes challenges, and we share our work with others that are on there. Are any of you cooking right now? Are you in the middle of your festivities? We are having a simple year this year. We have family coming in town after Christmas, and we'll get together with other family members when that happens, and that will be fun. But for Christmas, just a quiet Christmas. Okay, let me see here. I'm just going to put little ticky marks for my dots. Just a little mark there. And we've got a few more flowers to add. In the decorative painting world, we call this a line drawing. And I've noticed in the craft world, they call it a template. So whatever you call it, line drawing or template, this is the start of doing your art. Okay, a few more lines and we'll be almost there. Make sure I got everything. And now let's do the circle around. Can't forget that. That's an important thing to transfer. Last year I did a series of small little watercolor designs for the 12 days of Christmas. So if you're interested in that, it is on our website. Let's see if I can get any more of this on there. There. Okay.
Did you do the hoof?
Yeah, I got it. Okay. So we got that on. I usually don't quite finish this, so I go in with my pencil and add that to finish it off. All right. Now this is called Hest, which is a Norwegian word for horse. And I will try and bring that up for you so you can hear what it sounds like. Because I'm not that great at pronouncing these. I'll let you guys listen to the professionals. Okay. See if I can get it to. Okay. Turn on the sound. Okay, this is what it sounds like.
Hest. Hest.
Hest. Okay, I guess that sounds like it's spelled.
Hest.
Hest. Okay, Hest. For horse. All right, let's start our watercolor. We're using the Josanya paint line to add our colors. I'm going to bring up my picture for myself. Okay. So the background of the horse is red, and I'm trying to think of what I want to do first. I think I'm going to do the red last. I'm going to put in the other colors first, and then we'll do the red and work around everything. Okay, so we'll start out with our yellow, which is Turner's Yellow by Josanya. Turner's Yellow. It's a tube color. Just a tiny bit on your palette. And you need a round brush. You're going to water that down just slightly, not a whole lot. And I'll bring this in a little bit more. There we go. Okay. Okay, we have these little petals that go around the saddle. You can do those with the Turner's Yellow. A little bit of watering down in your Turner's Yellow, but not completely like you do with the other colors. I do want a little more opaqueness with the yellow. Okay. And then the middle of this flower here is yellow. In the middle of this flower, got a few middles here going on. This one too. And this one. And then our little berries are also yellow. Now this is different than my other designs in this series. Most of the time have been doing red berries, but because our horse is red, which I could have chosen a different color horse, but I really just kind of wanted to do a red horse. So we can't have red berries on a red horse. So I made them yellow. All right, that's it for our yellow areas. Rinse your brush out. How's everyone doing? Robin says, no special cooking here. We aren't doing anything. We'll visit his brother on Friday. So you're having a quiet time at home too? Gretchen says, off to see the temple lights. Thanks for a wonderful series. You're welcome. Merry Christmas, Gretchen. Yes, and Lisa says she hates when it happens when she so someone must have said something about putting the pattern on the wrong side. That can be the worst. Okay. All right, let's go with our colony blue. What's this color? My favorite color. Love, love, love it. Okay, this one you want to rinse down out. You want to rinse out. You want to water down for sure. You want it to be lighter. And if you need to test your color before you put it onto your piece, just grab a scratch piece of paper and test it on that before you go to your piece. And I'm trying to find mine. There it is. There we go. Found it here. So just a little testing on my tester strip, and I can tell it's where I want it. Let's go ahead and add this stripe, this lighter blue stripe on the saddle. Okay. And then we have a lighter blue stripe down here. Make sure to put that rickrack like shape in there. Okay. And then the other colors are the darker blue. Over on this side, we'll put lighter blue right here. Now I do have my color is bubbling up a little bit on my piece. So what I can do is I can take off the excess paint on my paper towel, or just tap it right here, and that will take off the excess moisture. Go back to your piece and sop up that extra moisture. Okay. Now this series, we are using Josanya paints in a watercolor way, but it also can be used in an opaque way. So you'll find I have lots of different patterns that I offer, and some are done opaquely and some are done with this transparent type of technique. Okay, that's good for that. Now we'll take and add just a tiny bit of brown earth to our blue and darken our blue. Okay, so I put a little bit of brown earth on my palette. I'm going to grab, let's see, just a touch of my brown earth, just a little bit on my brush, mix it in with my Colony Blue and create a darker blue. Okay. And we'll go in and do the darker areas. I want to make sure and do areas that are dry. So let's start over here on this flower. We'll do the petals here. And I'm just working on the tip of my brush. Nice light pressure. And then you have petals here that are darker. Okay. And you have this side of the strap on the saddle. Is anyone watching the Santa tracker? And we have the blue in between these petals. These are going to be red petals. A little bit of blue in between. Okay. And then the outer petals on this flower here. Okay. They look so nice together, those colors. I like it. Okay, we're good with that. The yellows, blues are on our piece. Okay, rinse out your brush. And let's go in with the brown. We don't have very much brown, so let's just use the brown we already have on our palette. Water it down. Like so. And then go ahead and add the hair. I'm always quiet when I do these tight little areas because I'm concentrating. Okay, the hair is on there now. And that's all of the brown that we have on this piece. Okay, green. We need pine green. Cindy says she cooks a special dinner on Christmas Day. What are you planning to cook, Cindy? What's your special dinner? I'd love to hear. And Alice says maybe he'll make a pot of soup so you can enjoy it too. Hope you heal quickly. Yes. Oh, you can't have hot foods. Sorry, Alice. That's no fun. Mm. Ah, okay. I'm just going back in the in the chat and yes. Yes, I was thinking we had just got a pot roast and I was like, I think I'm gonna do a roast. But then we also have ham left over. So I was thinking maybe we should do bean and ham soup. That would be really good too. Decisions, decisions. Okay, for the light green mix, I just added the pine green to my palette, and you're gonna want 1 part pine green and 1 part Turner's yellow. Mix those together and water them down. Okay, that will be our light green. Take a little moisture out on your paper towel. And we'll do this large leaf in the back here. With light green, and then half the leaf here. And half the leaf here. Got those in. Now we'll move over to the other flower. Oh, also, well, the bottom of the flower has the dark green, so I'm not going to worry about that right now. But go ahead and put your light green leaves in under this tulip. Anyone doing last minute shopping? And light green there. And that's it. Just a little bit, adding the touches of green, boy, it makes the piece even more fun to look at. Okay, we'll do our dark green, which is pine green and brown earth. And this is more pine green, so 2 to 1 part brown earth. We'll put a little more there. Mix that together. You're going to get kind of a sagey green. I had 2 parts pine green, 1 part brown earth. You want it to be more green than brown. So if it's too brown, add a little green to it. But it should be darker than your light green. You want to water that down also a little bit. Okay. And these will be the rest of the leaves. And then also underneath our tulip, we have some dark green right there too. I'll bring you guys down a little more. Go. Okay, go ahead and do the dark green sections of these leaves. And then the rest of the leaves. Okay. To make it darker than the other green, you might have to do a couple coats just to darken it up good. And then we'll work under this tulip here. There we go. And then we're good with our green. So I'm going to go back in and add a little more just to make sure it's nice and dark. Yeah. Okay. Okay, let's do the black and then we'll do the red. So black, carbon black, a little bit of that on your palette. Just a touch. You're going to water that down also. And you only have a few spots where you want to put your carbon black. One is here on the hoof. It's watered down to like a dark gray. And this hoof. And we have a halter line here. And the eye. Okay, and then we'll do some dots later, but they'll be done after we're all done with our pencil work and everything. This horse is really fun. Oh, I just love it. It's really fun. Okay, I'm checking out what you're having for dinner. Spiral honey glazed ham, yum. Mac and cheese, yum, yum. Sweet potato casserole, yum, yum, yum. And Waldorf salad and cornbread dressing. Sounds yummy. Cornbread dressing. That just caught my eye. What is that? I've never had cornbread dressing. Or is it cornbread and dressing? Oh, cornbread dressing, like, okay, I'm getting it now. Like a bread dressing. Okay. But that sounds yummy. I've had cornbread dressing before. And let's see, Robin's saying something about pudding. Pudding, that sounds good. Oh, because you can't have hot stuff, right? Robin says, Cindy, what time is dinner? I'll be right over. And Michelle says, last minute shopping, of course. Yes, of course. We do sometimes need to do that at Christmas Eve. My pieces are starting to dry here. You can see the match. You can tell there's something on there. There's a, got the varnish going on. You can kind of tell it on the back too. So when you do a few more coats, you've got a nice piece there. And I do think gold might be really cool to be on the edges, having gold on the edges. I'll have to try that. Okay, we're going to do our red. So we need our Naphtha Crimson and Turner's Yellow. And it's a mix of 2 parts Turner's Yellow and 1 part Naphtha Crimson. So I'm just going to break this up into two parts Naphtha Crimson, 1 part Turner's Yellow. Mix that up. What do you get? A nice soft red. Might put a little more red in there. Looks like watermelon. Add some water to it and thin it down. Okay. I'm going to water it down really good. And then I want to test this for sure on my piece of paper. Just see where I'm at. Yeah, that looks better. Okay. We're off to the races with our red. So if I can't move this over more. There we go. Okay, we're going to have to work around everything. So be careful. Use the tip of your brush as you're working. Take a little of the moisture out of your brush so you're not like leaving bubbles everywhere. I am kind of working in a bubble here. Let me see. I've got to take some more out. There we go. Just go around your piece. Work around all the elements. And I'm starting on this left side because I know most everything over here is dry. Work on the tip of your brush. Very little pressure on your brush. Okay. It's going on pretty lightly. I almost want more color. So I might add a little more pigment. That's just taking some of the color from your puddle and bringing it down to the lower puddle and adding a little more to it. Okay. Now I'm going to be working around these little berries, so I want to be careful here. There we go. Bringing some of that color up farther. Okay, yeah, the red is kind of fun. I'm going to keep working around everything. Try to stay in the lines. Okay. working down the leg here. Merry Christmas, everyone. Happy Christmas Eve. I think we're going to watch a movie tonight. Maybe several movies. Okay, a little bit more to do here. I know this is a little tedious, but when you're working this way, it's the best way to get it on, especially when you're working with transparent washes. You kind of have to do each section on its own. Okay, we have some red. Let's see, we have some red on those flower petals and also red on the inside of this flower. Oops. Went out of bounds there. Try again. Okay. All right. Got all the red on there. Looking good. Rinse out your brush. And Alice said the horse looks pretty even without the red. I agree. I could have just left the red off. But it's going to be cool. It'll look good. So I'm going to put my palette to the side. We'll work on colored pencils next. Let this dry though. Okay. Take a drink here. Phew. So we talked a little bit about the art subscription box yesterday. And I'll just do a little reminder about that today. I'm not going to go in depth as like I did yesterday, but we do have the art subscription box for next year. It's a 6-month subscription. you get 2 boxes, and each box has 3 projects. So in total, you get 6 projects in 6 months. It is after the Little Mermaid theme by Hans Christian Andersen, and we read the book together if you want. We also talk about the book a little bit in our classes. The classes are done on Facebook, like a Facebook Live, and they're done within our group so that you have to be a member of the group to get in and watch it. And we do have a few people that are not members of Facebook. And so what they do is they watch the videos later. They're recorded, of course, and I put them on our website in a special members page on our website. And then they can go in there and watch them later. And you basically get a whole, additional year of access to all the videos and everything. So they're up there for you to watch later if you can't quite get the project done when we're doing it. And you also, we make it very convenient for you so that you don't have to go around and look for your supplies. You'll get your paint and your brushes and your pencils and your surfaces, your instructions. Sometimes we put a little gift in the box. Actually, we usually do every box a little gift, kind of a surprise gift. We do trunk sales after some of our workshops together, so you have a chance to purchase things at a discount. We also have a secret store in the Whimsy webpage area where you can purchase extra surfaces and things pertaining to the projects that we're doing. And you can buy those at your convenience, and there is a discount. You also get a discount on the next subscription that we do because you are a Whimsy. And lots of fun techniques, and I usually try to do something different like I haven't done before, so you get access to different techniques. So really fun. We'll have a great time this next year. We are opening up the group mid-January, and we will close the group at the end of January. So you can join now, and then we will open up the Facebook group mid-January so that you can go in, and we'll have some fun activities that we do together before we get our boxes. The first box will get to you sometime in February, and then we'll start working on our pieces together. So we only have so many spots. We have to kind of gauge off of our numbers to know what to order and be ready for that first box. So at a certain point, we have to close the group and not take any more members. So if you're interested, you gotta go get your spot here soon. So you can secure that for the next 6 months. Then we close it for 6 months, and then I probably won't be doing an art subscription box until the next year, 27, excuse me. This will be the only art subscription box I'll do for 2026. Later, I'll do a stationery box subscription, which is different. It's not any painting or anything like that. You just get free gifts, not free, but you get gifts in the mail with your subscription. And then we'll start up another art subscription box in 2027. So this is your chance to get in. If you're really interested in it, this is the time to do it, you guys. And then we close the group, we close access to it end of January. Okay. So you have that much time to kind of be thinking about it and getting yourself together to do that. The total value is $400, over $400 actually. And the early bird sale is $195. So you get a good deal for what you get. 6 projects, 6 months, lots of support, lots of fun friends, and happy times together. It's really great. That's what's going on. I also wanted to talk about the Painting World magazine. If any of you are familiar with the Painting World magazine, that is a great subscription out there. It's the only painting magazine where you can actually get a copy in the mail and handle it yourself, which is great. So they have wonderful projects in there. And I was in one of the recent issues. I had a project on the back page. So I wanted to show this to you so you could kind of see if you're reminded by it. It's like if you saw the picture, I wanted to show it to you, but also for you to check out Painting World magazine. Go check it out online. So I'm going to try and have more projects in there. This was my last project that I had in there. So she's a fun little angel with her wings, her sparkly wings, and her beaded little ornament. She is in that magazine. So if you're interested in this pattern, go check out Painting World. And you can get the supplies from us. We have all the supplies for this. We usually kit things up. And so we include the little rhinestone embellishments and stuff for you. So fun. That was a project we did in 2025. We have more things coming for all of you that are Woodland Whimsy. We're in the Woodland Whimsy group. I'm going to get the e-patterns done for that real soon. Like, yay, my schedule is just about clear and I can get those done. So be watching for that, and we will give you extra access to that group. I'm thinking end of February is when we'll close that group. So the Woodland Whimsies, be watching. You're going to get those e-patterns here soon. Darlene says they're watching the best Christmas pageant ever. I haven't seen that one. I probably better go watch that. That sounds awesome. Thank you, Darlene. She says she loved the subscription group. Love. Thank you. It's been wonderful. And it's been so good for all of us. Our mental health. It's been great. Robin says they've been watching lots of Christmas movies, but it's hard to find one we haven't seen. There are too many really predictable romances. Anybody see any good ones lately? Okay. All right, I think we are dry now. We can start in with our pencils. I'm going to have to sharpen my pencil. I threw stuff around in my studio and now I'm having a hard time finding it all. My sharpener. It is not here. Oh, there it is. Right in front of my face. Okay. This is just a handheld sharpener. The Statler brand is really great. You want to be careful when you're sharpening by hand. It's really easy to break that lead because it's so soft. When you're sharpening, it's easy to put too much leverage in one way or the other. So I'm going to work on the yellow areas, do some shading. The middle here of this flower, I'm going to start there. Dark at the bottom, medium, and light. Just let that color blend into the background. Okay. So I'm going to bring this down closer. And my husband showed me how to do it. You actually start with this. And it's all technical. Okay. And then I got to go there. All right. I think that's good. All right. So I just did this area here. Now I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to color in, let's see. I'm thinking about it here. Let's go ahead and line around each of these petals first. Let's do that. Line around. Okay. And then I'm going to color in a few select petals. So I'm just going to totally color them in. Just a few here and there. Okay, so I colored in like 3. And then let's put some shading from the blue area down into the petal. So very, very quick shading. It's like a line for your dark value. And then as you bring it down, just lighten up your pressure really quick. Soften the top of the petal. Okay. You want a soft brush to brush away your pencil crumbs. Okay, now I'm working at the bottom of this flower over here. That's your dark value and medium and then light value as I move up into the yellow there. Same thing with this area. Dark value, medium, and light. Let the light just fade into the background. Same here. These are just quick little areas of shading. Make sure your pencil's nice and sharp. Let's go ahead and line around each of our berries. Now these are so small, I don't know that we need to shade them. I just want to line around them. Okay. Okay, we're good with our yellow pencil. That was goldenrod. Prismacolor goldenrod. The next pencil is our poppy red pencil. Go down here so you can see it better. Make sure it's sharp. Okay. Yeah, if you guys come up with some fun Christmas movies, I would love that. I know, I think I've seen just about everything too. So it's just like going back and revisiting some of those. Elf. I have not seen Elf this year yet. And Elf is kind of an important one. Okay. Now I have my red pencil. Let's see. I'm going to start over on the bum first. Okay. So I'm going to lightly line right up here and then around my blue flower. Just lightly line around that. And then let's shade away from the blue flower. Use your medium value and then your light value. If you're wondering about all these different values and how to do your shading, we go quite extensively over it in some of these videos in the Nordic series. So just check them all out. You'll get a good explanation for how to do your shading. So I'm going down into my area here and loosening up on my pressure, going into the light value. Okay, I want to line around my leaf there. This one too, bit of lining around. Okay, how about lining around the outer edge a bit? There. And then let's shade a little up from the hoof. Move around our berries. Dark value right at the bottom here at the hoof area. Medium and then light value as you move up the leg. Okay. Well, hi, Carol. You made it here. Yay. I know there's so much going on Christmas Eve. So much. I didn't really originally plan to do this on Christmas Eve, but it worked out that way because we had that one class we had to cancel and reschedule and just ended up that way. I'm glad I kind of planned on having a few extra days there. Otherwise, I would have gone into Christmas with this. So, okay, I'm just doing my dark, medium, light values down here at the bottom of this belly. Just the dark value is going to be right at the bottom of the belly. Okay, we're going to move over to the other leg. Your dark value is going to be down by the hoof. That's where you start. You always start in the darkest value. Work around the berries, bring it up, go into your medium value, which is less pressure, a lighter color, and then into your light value, which is a feather touch, letting that blend into the background. Okay. I'm going to let this fade around the corner here, fade around my elements. Let's do some up right here at the hairline. So this will be my dark value. And then going into my medium value. And my light value. And some at the nose. So my dark value is right at the nose. Let it come up and fade. And a little bit under the chin, right at the chin. Dark value, medium value, light value. Let it fade. Okay, and then the tip of the ear, that will be our darkest value. Let it fade. So Robin said they watched It's a Wonderful Life this year. We'll probably watch Miracle on 34th Street or Elf, but I think we watched those last year. I'd like to alternate the years. Oh, that's a good idea. They kind of forget the movie a little bit. If you're like me, I forget some parts of the movie, and then it's like a surprise. It's like watching it, watching it for the first time again. Okay. Now let's do our red areas. Have some red right in this here, this flower. And then we have these red petals. Let's do the tips of our red petals. A little bit of shading on each tip. Okay. All right, there we go. Our red is done. Now we have our green. And my green. Okay, my green's gotten really short. So let's see if I can find my, here it is. I only have one extender out here, so I have to alternate. Put my extender in, close it tight, sharpen my pencil. Let's do the green now. I broke my lead. Okay, I'm gonna do this again. It can be nice to have the battery operated sharpener. I really need to get myself another battery operated sharpener. I loaned mine out, so I need one. Okay, I'm getting there. Okay, got a nice sharp pencil. I'll put it back into my extender. Screw it on tight. Okay. All right, so let's move over to the back leg here. Sorry about my dirty fingers, you guys. I've been painting. Okay, let's put in our vein line there, and we have a line right here through these leaves. Let's lightly line around our leaf and shade the bottom coming up. So that's I'm going to use a medium and light value for shading here. Let's go ahead and do that on these leaves, the rest of these leaves. A little bit on the light area. Line around your other leaves, your dark leaves, and shade from the bottom. And then pull your stem down to the bottom of the leg. Okay. You want to do that on the other leg too. Lightly line around the leaves. Tie them in with the stem area. Line down the stem all the way to the bottom and add your berry lines too. You want to do that on the other side. I forgot those berry lines. And then a line down the center of those larger leaves, a little bit of shading at the bottom of each leaf. bottom of this little bulb at the bottom of the flower. There we go. Okay, that's good for the green. We are done with the green and we're moving over to our light umber pencil where we'll do the rest of our shading with that color. Let's see if I can do this again. Okay. Okay, my light umber pencil is getting small too, so I use my sharpener and then also my extender. Okay, how about we start up on the hair? So let's lightly line around all of that. And I'm going to skip my line along a little bit. Okay, and then you have these little hairlines you can put in. Make sure your pencil's sharp. And then you'll shade the bottom of the hair. That would be your dark value, medium value, light value. It goes really quickly. I'm hearing an owl. Must be just outside the door. And then let's go ahead and lightly line around our ear. Or it could be a dove. He's like, whoo, whoo. Okay. Now we have a line inside our ear. We can put that in. And then let's lightly line around the head. I think that's what I'll do. I'll just kind of work in sections here. So a little bit on the head. And we have a line here for the altar. And then we want some shading on our black stripe, a little bit at the top and bottom of that. No tail for this horse. I know I looked at some of the Nordic horses online and a lot of them didn't have tails. There were just a few that did, Alice, but most of them didn't. So I just went with the ones that didn't. I figured that was probably how it's supposed to be. So, okay, I'm going to do a little lining around my scallops here. And some shading. This is a repeat of my shading right at the bottom there in this kind of little corner. Okay, I want to hear like some of your traditions. I just heard a tradition the other day that I thought was interesting. I'd never heard of people doing this. But when I was a young girl, I was a member of a big family. And so my parents couldn't wrap every gift for all the kids. And they did like to get us, at least a few gifts, not just one gift for Christmas. And so they would, for Christmas, they would wrap some gifts and put them under the tree, but most of the gifts that came from Santa were not wrapped. And we would come out and our stocking would be near our little pile of gifts from Santa that were not wrapped. So that's kind of how they did it to get through, um, you know, having so many people in the family. But then I heard another tradition from a person that said what he did when he was younger is his, like, they always had family over, and like an uncle or a dad would take them on a car ride. And I don't know if it was Christmas Day or if it was like Christmas Eve, but we'd take them on a car ride and they would go looking for Santa. So they would be driving all around town looking for Santa. And then they'd finally come back home and Santa, lo and behold, had been to their house and delivered a bunch of their packages. So they would find their packages under the Christmas tree and it was like a mad dash to the bottom of the Christmas tree to find whose package was whose. So that's how they did it. And then I heard another tradition. You can tell I'm just so interested in this. On an airplane ride, and this man was from Czechoslovakia. And he said what they would do is they would uh, just do Christmas in like 2 days. They wouldn't do the decorating before, like weeks before, like we do here in the US or in America. They would do it just like a couple days. So, like Christmas Eve, they would bake all day and they would decorate. And then they would put the nativity out, but they would not include the Christ child. And then on Christmas Day, when they came down the stairs, there would be a little baby Jesus under the tree, and that was their gift, was baby Jesus who was in the creche. So I thought that was interesting. So many different thoughts about it, but I would love to hear what your tradition is. Our tradition now is that we open one gift on Christmas Eve and we tell the story of Jesus. We usually read it from the Bible. And then we open the gift. Actually, we read the Christmas story and then we open our gift, and then the rest is open the next day. And Santa comes, and there's sometimes a few gifts under the tree from Santa, or some gifts in the stocking, but most everything is wrapped. So that's kind of the tradition we've had here in our house. And I would love to hear your tradition. Oh, I have one more tradition I have to tell you about. It's kind of funny. So my friend, in her family, they had a tradition where the dad would go to the bottom of the stairs on Christmas Day, and he would he would call the children to the stairs by singing to them. And there was a special family song. It was some kind of Christmas song. And he had to have it memorized. And he would sing it at the bottom of the stairs. And then the kids could come down and see their gifts. Well, when she got married, she told her husband, no, you got to sing at the bottom of the stairs. And he's like, what? I don't, I didn't sign up for this. I don't not really comfortable singing. She's like, no, you have to sing this. And so he ended up having to memorize the song and sing it every year at the bottom of the stairs to call everyone to Christmas. I thought that was kind of funny. Anyway, I would love to hear your traditions. So please share. I agree, Alice, in Czechoslovakia. Yeah. Maybe they just do the tree. I don't know, but they just do it. He said they just do it all. Like, it's a big thing, a big day where they put and the kids actually, there was another place. It was Argentina. I talked to someone there because everywhere I go, I ask them what their traditions are because I just have this thing I love to hear. So in Argentina, they send everyone. They have like fireworks Christmas Eve, and they send everyone out to watch the fireworks. And when they come back, they put their shoes by the door. And when they come back, there's a gift in their shoe from Santa. So that was kind of a cool one too, to hear that. So we're all different. It's all different. And I just love it. But we're all celebrating and it's so fun. So anyway, tell me what your traditions are. Do you open a gift on Christmas Eve? Or do you just leave it all for Christmas Day? What do you do? Love to hear. Okay, I'm going to continue shading. I'm going to bring this shading down here. So starting at the bottom of his kind of chin area and bring that shading up into the cheek. A little bit like that. I'm also going to repeat the shading right up at the tip of the ear. Let's put some more shading there and inside the ear, a little bit there too. And then also down the hair area, right down below the hair. Just another repeat to deepen the shading. Okay. I know some of my friends, they have like crab or lobster on Christmas Eve. Some people go out to dinner. Okay, let's move to this area. I'm going to go ahead and lightly line around my flower to clarify those elements of the flower. And let's shade the bottom of these flower petals. A little bit at the bottom, not much, especially on the light. Just a little bit there. A little bit of lining around the center. A little shading at the bottom of the center. Okay. And I'm going to just do a little lining around my berries, kind of more towards the bottom of each berry, or around the bottom of each berry. Okay, let's do some shading down at the bottom of our leg. Yeah, I'm really curious what the song was that my friend had her husband sing. I would have loved to hear it. And if it was like I should have asked her, was it a family song? What was it? What's the deal? Or was it just like Jingle Bells? I think it was some sort of special song though. Okay, a little shading at the back of the hoof there. And then we'll come around here. We'll do a little bit of shading on the belly. So repeat here, a little bit more there. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, I'm going up and around my saddle. I'm going to just work on the saddle now. So let's line around our yellow petals. Okay. And then between the petals and the blue area, you can put a good solid line in there. And then the blue and the white area. And the flower in the white area. That really cleans it up and helps it. I'm going to sharpen my pencil again. Okay, are we still on? Let me check. See how we're doing. Okay, I just want to make sure we're still going here. You guys hear me okay? There is a little bit of a delay, so. Okay, I see a heart, so it must be still there. I must be still there. Okay. I'm lining around the belly there, and then also this blue section. Okay. So let's also work around our flower, the center. You want to do a nice line there, and then around each of the petals. And above the saddle. Okay, now we need to do our shading. I'm going to do a little shading at the top here of the saddle, just on the blue area. Coming down, medium and light value there. And a little bit in between these petals, just up in the corner there of the petals. And I think I'll go ahead and put a little bit of shading on my white stripe. Bring it down a little bit. Okay, good. I'm glad you guys can hear me. A little more shading, and then we'll be ready to do the flecking, the snow. Okay. Let's do a little shading in between the yellow flower petals here around the saddle. Kind of in between, and then bring it out a little bit. Start, the darkest area is in between. And then on the right side of this part of the saddle here, and the left side, deepen that shading there. Okay. Sometimes it's easy to go outside of where you want it to be, and I think it did a little too much shading right on this one. Is there, okay, I'm going to ask you a question. This is a either or question. Do you like to have orange at the toe of your stocking or no orange at the toe of your stocking? That's kind of a tradition some people do, is an orange in the toe of the stocking. Yes or no? Orange or no orange? Okay, I'm shading in between my blue petals over on that blue flower. I'm moving over. I'm going to go down this leg now. So I got a no orange. Yeah, that orange thing is kind of going away. I don't see as many people doing that. You know, I guess oranges at that time when they were really big on doing oranges in the toe, the oranges were kind of a special treat because you couldn't just get them anywhere. Now you can get them anywhere, right? You can go right down to the local market and they'd be there. So no orange. And Liz does not like oranges. I didn't know that, Liz. And Alice says no orange. Okay. Do you do chocolate in your stocking or hard candy or both? Chocolate, hard candy, or both? Okay, I'm lining around. A little bit around my leg. Shading the back of this hoof. We're in the ugly stage. It gets better. Everything's kind of dark right now as we're working. Okay, I'm going to work around this flower here. Some lining there to clarify. Put that main line down the middle. Linda says chocolate. Cindy says the more chocolate, the better. Liz Carlson says chocolate would be good. Are you a chocolate snob? Do you like the really good chocolate? Or do you just, don't care? Just chocolate is chocolate. I have to say, I'm kind of a chocolate snob. Well, I like Lindor, like German chocolate. I love that kind of chocolate, the good stuff. So let's see. Alice says little gifts would be, but I would always take chocolate for who doesn't like chocolate. Okay, say little gifts, but I would always take chocolate for who doesn't like chocolate. Okay. I know, who doesn't like chocolate? And then Robin says we don't do stockings, but I love a good orange and I love chocolate. Guess I'm easy to please. So a bowl of chocolate would be good for you, right? That's what I would like. Good chocolate. Hershey's, please, says Liz. Nice. Okay, I'm going to work around these little berries. So we got some sugar-free chocolate, and I told my husband, I was like, because we're trying to go off the sugar. That's super hard to do, by the way. But we were trying, giving it somewhat of an effort. And so I got this sugar-free chocolate for Christmas. But it's the kind that like you can only eat like 2 or 3 pieces or you're gonna have problems. I'll just leave it right there. So I'm shading the bottom of the leg. And that's probably good enough. Just enough to deepen the shading down at the bottom. And yeah, I think we're good. We can put our fast drying glaze medium on and get some highlights done. So let's get this put out here so we can see the whole thing. So Robin says, I like the good chocolate best, but I eat standard chocolate too. I just don't like the really cheapy stuff. Yeah, the stuff that's like tastes like wax. Yeah, that stuff's no good. It's like, you know, when you get to our age, you kind of have to be careful with your calories, and it's like got to be the good stuff. If you're going to put your calories into it, you might as well have the good stuff. Okay, fast drying glaze medium. Let's set our pencils and our paint. Yeah, this horse is based off the Nordic style horses. I did a little bit of creative licensing there with I put the hair on the head. A lot of them don't even have the hair. And I did put like little hooves on. Some of them don't even have that. So I did kind of use some creative license with mine. Okay. Okay, fast drying glaze medium. Lightly add it to your piece. Don't overwork it. Very lightly, gentle touch. This will set your pencils and your paint. Okay, if you have any smearing, like I see a little smearing right here, just push it into your design and you can usually take care of that smearing. Yes, be near the bathroom. Stay home. Stay home. Only have 3 is the max of pieces you can have. That's it. And Alice says, have you tried Dubai chocolate? Well, is Dubai chocolate? No, I haven't. And where do you get it? Do you have to get it in Dubai or do you have to order it specially online? Where do you get it? Tell us more, Alice. Robin says bald horses. I don't know. You guys go check it out. Nordic horses. Alice says she likes the hair added. And Darlene says, I love good chocolate. And he's so cute. I don't know. That's just how the Nordic horses looked that I saw. I'm gonna have to look at them again. Maybe I did it wrong. You guys have me cracking up. Oh my gosh. Okay, so images. Nordic painted horses. Or Norwegian. Yeah, they don't have tails on them. So oh, I guess some of them do have a little hair. They're like the Swedish, you know, Dala horses. They're kind of like that. So yeah, go check it out. They don't have tails. And my horse, it does look a little different than theirs. I think they have a longer neck than mine. Mine's a baby horse. Okay. All right. Dubai chocolate. No, I have not. So Carol says it's at Costco. Here I am trying to be off sugar. I've seen Dubai chocolate items from Costco, but I wondered what was special about it. And Alice says she's seen it more and more in the local stores. It has pistachio filling, and I saw a small bar for $20. Woo! Is that like $5 a bite? Okay. Get it dry here. Yeah, I love me some good chocolate. Oh my gosh. My husband and I both were so bad. We love good chocolate. Costco, when they used to have the ice cream bars that they would hand dip, you know, in their deli or what their pizzas. When you go buy pizzas in their snack section, you go buy stuff from them. They had the ice cream bars, and we would absolutely love getting those things. And one time I even had so much love in my heart. I was at Costco by myself, and I got my husband an ice cream bar, and I held it in my hand the whole way home driving for my husband. Oh, that was good stuff. But now I notice they do sell those bars, the Costco chocolate dipped bars, in their frozen section. But we have not bought them because we know we will eat the whole box. So we've refrained from buying it because everything from Costco is huge. Like it's probably got like 40 bars in it. No, it probably has like 25, but still, that's a lot. Robin says at that price, forget it. I don't need an expensive addiction. I know. Well, I kind of want a bite. Maybe we could buy one together, Robin, and we just take a little bite. Well, it's interesting. Pistachios, that's probably good. I love me pistachios. Okay, we're almost dry here. Almost dry. You guys are cracking me up. Well, chocolate. Yeah, chocolate's a good thing. I mean, I love truffle chocolate. Oh, my goodness. That is the bomb to me. I just love those. Yum. I could just I could just take a chocolate day and just not eat anything else but chocolate. But not sugar-free chocolate. That's not a good idea. Not a good idea at all. Okay, let's take some warm white. I think I am going to make me some light yellow because we do have some light yellow areas here. So I'm going to make me some light yellow. Get your warm white and your your yellow, Turner's yellow, warm white, and let's mix them together and make a light yellow. And we'll also use our warm white to do some more highlights. Okay. I'm just mixing together some yellow and white to make a light yellow. And I'm going to go in and just kind of highlight these little petals here, or scallops. Just little touches. Round them out a little more. And I don't think I'll do them all. I'll just do the ones towards the top. Okay, do you guys give, or did you give, if you have children, or if you have nieces and nephews, did you ever give them a box of cereal for Christmas? Because I did. And they loved it. It was like, the cereal, I would never buy them. Get them their own box of sugar coated cereal. Okay, I'm going to bring this in. Sorry, you guys too far away here. There we go. So I'm using the light yellow to just highlight my yellow areas. I'm just putting touches of color, kind of cleaning up the shape. My husband's weakness is Lucky Charms, and I call them Yucky Charms. So he gets those when he goes to his sister's house. No, I'm not that mean, but I have bought them. They just don't last. They last like 2 days and then they're gone. That box is gone. So we don't get it very often. We had oatmeal this morning. Okay, a little more up here. On this one, let's put a little yellow there. These are light yellow highlights. Okay, let's put a little dollop on our berries, top of our berries. Light yellow. So Robin, you decided what color pencils you want. That's good. Just email me. That is the best way. I was just looking at my messenger this morning and realized there was like several messages there that I didn't get. They're really old. And I had to apologize to everyone. Like, I'm so sorry you didn't see this message. I just don't think of going to Messenger every day, and I should, but I don't. Anyway, email's best. Just tell me what colors you want. We'll get it to you. We need to pick another winner today. Okay, I'm just going back and kind of making sure these highlights are nice and bright and kind of opaque a little bit in the brightest part of the highlight. Oh, we also have one right here. Okay. Okay, we're gonna work on, we'll do the warm white next. Rinse out your brush. Just warm white this time. Put some in your brush and then wipe your brush out on your paper towel a little bit so you just have a touch on your brush. And let's work on this warm white area right here. We're just going to clean this up and highlight it. Okay, and then I'm going to put some highlight in the blue area right below. It's brightest in this area. You always start in the brightest area and then work out from there. And you'll have less and less paint in your brush, and then it gets softer and softer, and that's what you want. Start out where it's brightest. Even when you do the second coat. Okay. And then I'm going to take this warm white and go into my yellow areas and just add a touch of warm white in some of those areas to brighten my highlights. He's getting brighter. He's getting cuter. A little bit here. Here. It's a repeat of your highlights and just brightening them up. I'm also highlighting the blue, the lighter blue areas. Let's do a little bit at the tip of these petals. And how about a little bit on our scallops here on the reins or the holster? What do you call it? Not holster. Reins. That's all I can think of. Horse reins. Okay, a little bit there. And how about a little white highlight, tiny white highlight on the top of our berries? Hmm. Okay. Alrighty-o. I think we're good. We'll start in with our black dots. We have a few black dots to put down. Oatmeal is healthy until you add all the sugar in it. Yeah, no brown sugar. We didn't put any sugar on it. I just put like raisins and almonds in mine. And I didn't put any sugar. And Alice says, oatmeal tastes like cardboard to me, and the fruit and some sugar makes it taste edible at least. Yeah. Okay, let's do our black dots. We'll do some dots right here in the blue area. And we'll put a little highlight dot in the eye, but I'm going to redot that eye. So just grab your stylus and add a little moisture to your black. I'm going to redot this eye. So it's nice and round. And then I'm going to put dots around my saddle here with the black. A little more, one more. Okay, nice. I kind of want to put little black dots right here. I'm going to put some here right on this area under the saddle. Okay. I know I have a my daughter's good friend hates, like HATES, hates oatmeal. She loathes it. And she's all, she was a good friend and they were always pranking each other. And so my daughter, she made her an oatmeal cake, but it was just pure oatmeal, like stacked like a cake with frosting on it. So it looked like a regular cake, but it's just oatmeal. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Fun times, fun times. Just putting a little dot there. You guys can add jewels to this guy. I think he'd be really cute with some jewels. I'm going to let him dry and end up putting a little highlight dot in his eye, and then we'll put the splatter on him. Bridal. That's what it's called. Thank you, Linda. Yeah, these girls were just like too mean to each other, I think. I thought that was kind of a mean thing to do. But they were all good with it and they laughed about it. And yeah, that's the kind of friends they were. But I like oatmeal if it's not soupy. I hate soupy oatmeal. I like it to be not crunchy, but like stealthy. That's what I like. Substantial. Okay, I might have to pull up my heat gun. I'm going to put this down and see if I can't get it to dry in front of my heater. I'm still here. I'll put something here. There we go. I'm still here. Just heating up my paint so it will dry. Yeah, it's starting to dry now. So I'm good. Almost dry. Almost there, almost there. Home Alone is on tonight. Ooh, I love that movie too. That's a good one. Okay. Ugh. All right, now we'll put that little highlight dot in to finish the painting. Tiny, tiny little dot right there. And then now we can splatter. Yay. He's cute. Okay, let's bring it back out again. Let's see here. There we go. Okay, I'm going to use warm white. So I'm going to grab a little more warm white, put that on my palette. Robin's asking about the old Genesis heat gun. It probably does. It probably works very similar. You just don't want to burn your paper. So I just dipped my splatter brush into the water, took some out, and I'm mixing it in with my warm white paint and testing it. Now I'm going to hold it vertically about 6 inches and splatter. I've got a little extra moisture in my brush, so it's coming out very freely. So I think I'm going to a little bit there. That's about enough for me. And then I'll go in and put my chunky splatter in. Okay, and then I want to maybe take off some of the, when you get a little extra splatter on the eye, it's not really what I was looking for. So I'm going to take some of that off very gently with a Q-tip. Okay, now let's go back in with our stylus. And we'll add some chunky glitter here and or chunky snow here and there. Just larger dots of snow. And it shows up better in the darker areas. And I usually tend to put clusters of snow. Some large, some small. And if you're not really sure where to add that the chunky snow, just find a splatter that's already there and cover it with your larger dot. So you got to go back and dip so you can get enough paint on your stylus and then dot. Got to do that ever so often. Dip and dot. So a few extra here and there. I like to do little clusters, like I said. Okay, that's good enough. All right, got the snow on him. Ready to go riding in the snow. Maybe a little more up here. All righty, well, that was fun. Got another one to add to our collection. Any of you have a horse lover in your family? They might like this one. Okay, you guys, we're at the end. We got to choose a winner. Let me get my list. I got my list here. Okay. Okay, so we have Robin Richer. You're going to give me your 2-color pencil colors that you would want. And Linda Ryan, you also got Edge Sanders coming to you. And Kim Owens, you have a duster brush coming to you. How about we choose the next person will get a liner brush. Who doesn't need a liner brush? We all need new liner brushes. So we'll pick a winner here. Get myself going here. Okay, there we go. Look at my list. Darlene Cartmel. You haven't won anything for a while, so we'll put you down for a liner brush. Darlene Cartmel. Congratulations, Darlene. We'll get that in the mail to you. If we don't have your address, we'll contact you. But I think we do have your address in the system. So congratulations. I'm going to miss it too, Linda. It's been really fun. So like I said, I'm going to try to figure out a day that I can be online once a week and connect with you guys. I would love it. So YouTube once a week. It will help me because I do need to build my videos on YouTube. So let me know what you'd like to see us do. Is there anything that you'd like to see us do? I do have plans to start doing a page every time I'm on YouTube from one of our watercolor Willows books. So we have some of those, and we do have people that are interested in that. So that's one idea. It's been really great. You guys, I hope you have a wonderful Christmas and you just enjoy a good Christmas movie, some chocolate if you like chocolate, and just have some nice, just enjoy it. You guys enjoy your traditions, any of the traditions that you do. Enjoy those too. And I'll bring this up here so you can see our collection and pat yourself on the back, especially if you stayed with me. Oh my goodness, and done these with me. You've accomplished a lot. So, or if you just hung out with us, that was super fun, and I enjoyed every minute of it. So, anyway, you got a dollar horse to add to your collection now. I hope you had fun. We will be back again after Christmas or after the new year. I'm going to say after the new year, I'll be back on, okay? And we'll figure something out. But watch your emails and see my schedule. I'll be posting it in my email. And if you're not subscribe to our email, you can always just go to our website at erikajoanne.com, and that's erikajoanne.com, and sign up for our email list, and you'll get the latest and greatest news, what's going on in our little paint and pencil world. So, well, ta ta for now. Toodaloo. Have a wonderful Christmas. Ho, ho, ho.